up guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Pranay. Hope everybody is doing good, right? I'm doing absolutely fine right here. And you know what? I'm actually super excited for this video because I'm going to unbox and review the MacBook Pro 14-inch, which is Apple's first redesigned MacBook Pro in 5 years. And I know you too are excited as well. So before moving to this video, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe and enable that bell icon. So shall we move on to this video? Let's go!
Let's go!
Here it is guys, the MacBook Pro 14-inch, Apple's first redesigned MacBook Pro in 5 years. Yes, the packaging looks pretty similar to the last year. This is what Apple calls now a 90% or more fiber-based packaging. Yeah, I know, you all are excited to see what's inside. So here, at first sight, we have the all-new redesigned MacBook Pro 14-inch. It has the same similar type of paper like last year's model. Damn, I'm so excited. This is amazing. I mean, Apple product unboxing are always one of a kind. Pulling this paper off, I can already feel the difference in weight and design. Let me put the laptop aside. Inside the box, Apple has included the guides in a much larger factor form, and this time it has two large black color Apple stickers. Moving on, we have this new charging brick that delivers up to 96 watts. The new braided USB-C to MagSafe cable looks great with a length of 2 meters in total and has a great thickness to it. And I'm truly excited because the MagSafe is back. Just look at this! The new MacBook Pro 14-inch Space Gray variant with the M1 Pro chip, 10-core CPU, 16-core GPU, 16GB RAM and 1TB SSD. Putting it all aside, now it's time to dive into this new MacBook redesign. The MacBook started automatically when I opened it. Then comes the usual paper that protects and reveals the screen. And here, I can already feel the difference in hinge compared to the last year's model. I think this is due to the new design Apple made. Honestly speaking, this looks much better than last year's model to me. Some people really talk about the notch, but in my perspective, I really love it and it's not a deal breaker. It is closer in size of an iPhone's notch. Moving down, the keyboard is what truly captivated me with its all new black anodized aluminum inset. There is no touch bar anymore in the new models. The function keys now include Siri dictation, new shortcuts for the spotlight and do not disturb. And obviously the usual shortcuts for brightness, media, playback, volume and a new design for the fingerprint ID. Now let me try out the keys themselves. Yes, they do feel a tad different from the first gen M1s. The trackpad is huge as always and it feels different in terms of touch and haptic feedback. Moving towards the sides, we get a 6-speaker sound system and by design this seems larger in size than compared to the last gen model, which is the reason why they sound so good. Check this out. And one more thing, there is no more any MacBook Pro logo underneath the display. Okay, now let us take a bigger look at this machine. First we have the return of additional ports like the HDMI port, SD card slot and the MagSafe. The magnet on this MagSafe is so strong that it is hard to pull it out. But this is an easier way. Apple decided to fit the MacBook Pro label underneath the laptop. However, this time it's engraved on the material. Now we have rounded corners and thicker robust enclosures that Apple declares to be made with 100% recycled aluminum. Unlike the previous generation, the display enclosure on this model is even thicker, leading to the fact that it feels solid. The exhaust grills are not only in the back but also on the sides as well. Talking about the thermals on this device, Apple declares that they have implemented a very advanced system that flows 50% air even at lower fan speeds. I like how the 14-inch model's thickness is only 15.5mm and the weight at 1.58 kg isn't much different from the M1 MacBook Pro. This appears to be the ideal getaway powerhouse laptop for me. The laptop has a 1080p video camera that is useful for video conferencing and the microphone is excellent. The display now has reached a whole new level. The 24% reduction in bezel size is extremely evident while consuming content, and the colors on this 1000 nit mini LED display are fantastic. It has a total resolution of 5.9 million pixels with a resolution of 3024 by 1964 pixels. Just keep in mind that everything has been packed on a 14.2-inch display with ProMotion and an adaptive refresh rate of 120Hz. The lid has this usual Apple logo, but this time the Apple logo is actually a little bigger than before. If you are a previous MacBook Pro 13-inch owner, your old accessories for the laptop like cases, laptop sleeves might not be useful anymore. But wait, check this out. Brilliant initiative by Apple. The bottom feeds are also flat pads. The laptop honestly feels like it lasts forever. I charge it maybe every 3 or 4 days, and that's because these Apple Silicon Macs are really good at sipping minimal power when they are on sleep mode. Performance of the MacBook Pro is great. I ran into no issues with video editing multiple streams of 4K footage in Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro. It runs pretty smooth like butter. Actually no frame drops or anything, and exporting video with the MacBook Pro is just stupid fast. Let's see the rendering time on both the softwares. So rendering a 5-minute 4K 30fps on Premiere Pro with 4K 30fps H.264 high bitrate rendering took exactly 5 minutes and 7 seconds. And rendering the same timeline video as that of Premiere Pro and FCP took only 2 minutes and 58 seconds. You see the difference, right? It's all actually the optimization of FCP on M1 machines, and Premiere Pro still needs a bit of optimization for M1. Editing 24 megapixel photos in Photoshop for my YouTube thumbnails are also smooth. There were no difficulty at all. Lightroom editing and rendering is just another level. It rendered 62 raw photos of 24 megapixels in just 1 minute and 44 seconds. That's definitely super impressive. The MacBook Pro also does great on gaming. You get reasonable and playable FPS while playing games. And for some games, it runs much better than I expected. Obviously, I can't tell a perfect benchmark since the game was written for Intel Macs, so there is a performance hit. But honestly, there aren't many AAA games created for Apple Silicon Macs yet. So if you're planning to game on M1 Macs, you're gonna be using the built-in Rosetta 2 translation or using softwares like Parallels to emulate Windows for ARM, which would then emulate x86 to play Windows games. Anyway, but the perks of having these Apple Silicon Macs is that they do get access to the iOS library of apps. So there is a decent selection of apps and games you use on your iPhone or iPad and can be downloaded and used from the App Store. Okay, so I guess it's conclusion time. Should you get the 14-inch MacBook Pro? Obviously, the answer always ends up at it depends. But think this for a second, okay? If you are a student doing assignments like having PDFs, Word documents, spreadsheet and Spotify going on in the background, or if you just use your computer for simple tasks like emails, getting into video editing or photography, or maybe even just printing documents, then I really think you should get the M1 MacBook Air or Pro model. That machine provides tremendous value for half the price of this laptop. The M1 MacBook Pro is still really amazing, and it's what I used to edit all my videos before I bought the 14-inch MacBook Pro. But if you are someone who needs the extra power and wanted to do some things more professionally, like you're an app developer, pro videographer, pro photographer, or whatever pro field you are in that needs a lot of computing power, I think this is a great fit. It does everything what I needed to do, and I can definitely see this machine lasting me a long time before I need to upgrade. It has every port I need, has great speakers, a smooth and crisp 120Hz mini LED display, fantastic performance and stunning battery life on it. It's great. I would say this is my go-to Mac recommendation for people who use their laptop to create things extraordinarily, or need a laptop with even better performance than the already fantastic M1 Max while still keeping the great battery life. It's Apple's most pro laptop in a long time, and I'm honestly excited to see what other Apple Silicon products are on the horizon. Anyways, what do you personally think? Should you get the MacBook Pro 14-inch? Or why does the MacBook Pro 14-inch actually interest you? Let me know in the comment section below. And also don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up for the YouTube's algorithm. And also don't forget to share and subscribe. So until then, catch you guys later in the next video. Till then, this is Pranay signing out, and peace. Sheesh bro, that was a long one.